They laid my father to rest on a cold Tuesday morning. I didn't shed a tear during the service. I couldn't. Grief had its hands around my throat, but I stayed composed, silent. By Thursday, I was back home, still carrying the scent of incense and damp soil when I opened my laptop. One unread message. Subject: termination of employment. No greeting. No sympathy. Just one line that seared itself into my memory. We need people who put work first. I stared at it, read it again, then shut the lid. I didn't respond, didn't plead, didn't ask questions. I packed up what little I had from my workspace, left my ID badge on the chair, and walked away. That was the last peaceful day they had. I had given that company 5 years. 5 years of missed holidays, late-night emergencies, and handling crises well beyond what I was hired for. I kept the place running, quietly, effectively. Clients didn't know my name, but the metrics did. So did Darren, my manager. He wasn't malicious, just the type who smiles while sticking the knife in. When I asked for time off, he'd said, flatly, "Do what you need." I thought that meant support. Now I think he was hoping I wouldn't come back. Maybe he needed to cut costs. Maybe I reminded him that people with integrity don't stay long under people like him. Whatever the reason, I was gone. I didn't tell my mother I'd lost my job. She had enough pain to carry. She was mourning the only man who ever raised me right. There was no reason to add my burden to hers. So I carried it myself, my sorrow, my humiliation, my rage, and started digging. First thing I did was go through my personal backups. I had kept copies of everything, not because I distrusted Darren specifically, but because I knew better than to trust any corporate system. Within 2 hours, I found it, the first inconsistency. Client retention data modified. My results altered. High-value accounts I'd brought in were suddenly credited to Darren in the reports. The tampering was subtle, almost professional, but I saw through it. Then came the invoice audit. Payments padded, inflated, funneled to a consultancy firm registered under his wife's maiden name. A textbook move. I didn't go to HR. I didn't file a report. Instead, I contacted Claire. She used to be our regional audit manager before she moved on to a better role out of state. We weren't close friends, but we respected each other's work. She once told me, "If they ever screw you, call me first." So I did. I sent her a single email with a single file. Her reply came within 15 minutes, "Say nothing. I'll take it from here." Within a week, Darren was being pulled into meetings he hadn't scheduled. He was sweating through shirts that no longer fit right. By Friday, the company's lawyer got in touch. Then HR. Then Claire. No threats, just panic, regret, confusion. The usual corporate scramble to patch the mess. I stayed calm. Told them I didn't want the job back. I just wanted my termination officially reversed and a signed recommendation letter that acknowledged my contributions. They agreed immediately. Too easily. That's when I made my real move. With that letter in hand, I walked into a competitor's office 2 days later. One interview. I showed them everything. How I'd boosted client retention by 37%. How I fixed systems that were on the verge of collapse without recognition or reward. I showed them the email. I told them what happened. Not with anger, just the truth. By the end of that week, they offered me a job with double the pay. But that wasn't the real reward. The real win came when the clients started reaching out to me. They weren't interested in company loyalty. They wanted reliability, someone they could count on when everything was falling apart. In less than a month, 6 of the firm's top accounts quietly transitioned to my new employer. No drama, no announcements. Just a steady stream of departures that drained the old company dry. After the 3rd major client left, Mason, the regional manager, called me personally. I let the phone ring a few times before picking up. His voice was weary. "We'd really like to talk," he said. I could hear Darren breathing on the line. I stayed silent. "Look, we know mistakes were made, and if there's anything, it's already over," I said, calm and steady. "You just haven't realized it yet." Then I hung up. 3 months later, Darren stepped down, citing personal reasons. Mason was replaced soon after. The team I once built now thrived under my name at the new company, even if unofficially. Some people called me cold, said I should have fought back when they let me go. But they didn't understand. Rage is loud and short-lived. Silence, though, that's what lasts. It gets under the skin. It unsettles. It stays. I didn't need to get even for what happened to my father. But I owed him something more enduring: dignity, a sense of rightness. The assurance that when the world tries to bury you, someone who cares will dig up the truth. So I did. They gave me 3 days to grieve. I took everything else.